GameStop has unexpectedly canceled its earnings call that was scheduled for today, and GameStop also fired its CEO. This was tweeted at 4:20 p.m. and shortly after got to my Discord, and when I saw the news, I was like, fuck. The market already closed. I am still sitting in my call contracts. I posted a video earlier today talking about AMC GameStop, the daily update that we had to go over before earnings. And I warned all of you guys that this was a very, very risky move to hold my calls into earnings after being up about 200% on them. So I just wanted to put this out there that if you did hold your calls through earnings and YOLO'd it out, I wouldn't feel bad. And the reason for that is because this was an absolutely unpredictable thing that was supposed to happen. You were betting on earnings. What were the earnings going to come out as? You weren't betting on, oh, they are probably going to cancel the earnings and, someone might get fired. There's absolutely no way you could have predicted that. So, also, before we get into all the information on GameStop, the earnings call, what's next, I want to disclose that I have July 21st expiration for my call contracts and that I will be holding at least until further notice. Once I close them, I will disclose it right away to Discord, and then I will try to get up a YouTube short for you guys. Now, right into it, this was tweeted at 4:20 p.m. and then Ryan Cohen tweeted at 4:24. He tweets not for long. Of course, this was definitely a shot thrown towards the meeting, a shot thrown towards his position, or something that had to do with the catalyst that happened today. There's absolutely no other reason why this news would come out at 4:20 and this would come out at 4:24 p.m. over on Twitter. So GameStop shares fall as it terminates CEO and Ryan Cohen becomes executive chairman. GameStop CEO Matt Furlong has now been fired, and at the same time, the company disclosed Ryan Cohen has been elected as executive chairman. And I quote, GameStop today disclosed that its board of directors has elected Ryan Cohen as executive chairman effective immediately. So he is the executive chairman right now, Ryan Cohen. This is effective immediately. Now, this is where it gets interesting. Mr. Cohen's responsibilities include capital allocation and overseeing management. Remember, this is the same guy, the same Ryan Cohen, who is with the Apes, who is for a squeeze, so on and so forth. So to start the video off, I don't see this as horrible news. Of course, this is definitely an easy way to use as a scare tactic, right? Earnings alone, but the fact that the news retail gets is earnings call canceled, CEO fired. What better news for a short seller could possibly come out on a company? Now, jumping into everything that happened on the earnings call and what the earnings call actually would have looked like. Net sales were $1.237 billion for the period compared to $1.378 billion in the prior year's first quarter. So they dropped a little bit in sales. Selling, general and administrative SG&A expenses were $345 million or 27.9% of net sales for the period compared to $452.2 million or 32.8% of net sales in the prior year's first quarter. So let me put this into perspective. You might read the first thing and say, okay, well, they dropped sales. However, their expenses dropped as well, from 32% to 27%. So they dropped 5% in expenses. Net loss was $50.5 million for the period compared to a net loss of $157.9 million for the prior year's first quarter. So boom, they lost less money as well. So not only did they burn less money through expenses, but they lost less money as well. Transition costs related to European restructuring efforts were $14.5 million for the period for the second quarter. The company will continue to incur transition charges. Cash equivalents and marketable securities were $1.31 billion at the close of the quarter. And finally, long-term debt remains limited to one low-interest unsecured term loan associated with the French government's response to COVID-19. GameStop made less money than last year. They lost less money overall, however, and essentially have very little to none long-term debt, with about $1 billion in cash. What I'm looking at right now doesn't actually seem horrible. In fact, if the CEO wasn't fired and that was pressed on the headlines and the earnings call wasn't canceled and that wasn't pressed on the headlines, I think GameStop would have had a decent earnings and calls would have been sort of the wave. However, if you correlate it to the chart, it's already been ripping. It's on the top of the Bollinger Bands, yada, yada, yada. But I want you to note and pay attention that these catalysts where they line up is very, very weird, and how short sellers take advantage of some of these catalysts. We're going to look at the chart in a minute. One other thing, GameStop registered share count is 76.6 million shares on June 1st, 2023. About 25% of outstanding shares have been directly registered, which is an increase of 600,000 shares compared to March 22nd of 2023. Now, just looking at the charts, GameStop got absolutely flushed, trading at $21.15 after hours, down 19% after hours, was up 5.75% on the day. So the high 26.11, the low 21.15. Well, at least where it's sitting right now. It dropped a little bit further than that, coming around to $19. I know it dipped in the $19 level for GameStop. A lot of volume kicked in as well. Take a look at how much volume kicked in over here on GameStop. Almost 1.2 million within a 4-hour time frame. Keep in mind, GameStop day in and day out trades very, very little volume. Based off of what we're tracking, it can be confusing. I think this has potential just to be a flash crash to the downside, but just in case, a bear case scenario is GameStop would trade down like this, and they would bring it back to this low, right where this valley is, sitting at about $18.32, $18.35. Okay, that is bearish case scenario. However, I think this has a lot of potential just to be a quick flash crash to the downside. Not financial advice. I'm not a financial advisor. I also want you guys to know that if AMC is scaling down, if you haven't watched the video that I posted earlier, make sure to go watch that, because it still is very, very important to this video. And I think I went over the charts much, much better in the video I posted earlier than I'm doing right now. I just wanted to touch on it and show that we got flushed hard to the downside. So a couple things to note. Take out of this video before you leave this video is that the title probably of this video is going to be GameStop Got Slaughtered, or, you know, I got slaughtered on my calls, whatever it may be. Okay, couple things to note. Notice that I stuck to my trading plan. Okay, this is number one thing to note. Number one thing to note. I initially, when I purchased my calls, I said, okay, I'm purchasing these calls. I'm going to ride them even through earnings, no matter what happens. And I have July 21st expiration. I'm giving myself enough time. What happened? I up about 200%, and I come to the decision point where, okay, it's A, take profits, which would have been a very, very strong thing to do, or even if some of you cut some of them and then ride it out. I saw some people do that in Discord. Very, very solid thing to do. It was either that or ride it through earnings and stick to my trading plan, and whatever happens, happens. Now, if this FUD article, FUD news didn't happen the way it happened, and the headlines weren't CEO got fired, earnings call canceled, it may have played out a little bit differently. Also, it is always a good thing, take money, right? You can't lose money if you take profits, okay? One thing that I would have done wrong would have been to not take some profits and be stupid by just sticking to my trading plan, right? I should have had a point to get out, right? 200% get out, whatever it is, what it is. However, the money that I put in there, I specifically stated to Discord, specifically stated to YouTube that I was not afraid of losing that money. Also, when I say something, I stick to it. So I can't tell, 14,000 of you guys over here and 500 on Discord that I'm going to hold through earnings and not hold through earnings. It is what it is, right? I'm not upset with it. And honestly, I'm excited to see the price action going forward, especially with the way AMC and GameStop have been trading. The last thing I can present you with is a little bit of hopium, and I'm going to show you this "We Are Here" meme, and I'm going to leave it on the screen for about 5 seconds so you can saturate in it and go to bed with a smile on your face. But one thing to note, most of us retail investors have been here for a couple of years now, and this little flash crash doesn't really scare us. In fact, a lot of people in Discord are just buying up more shares on the stock. You guys are absolutely savage in Discord. Still holding my calls on AMC and GameStop. Not much changed. That is the update on earnings. Not too bad of an earnings, honestly. And we finally have Ryan Cohen here. So essentially, I think it's pretty decent. I'm not going to lie. It's pretty decent. You guys let me know what you think about this in the comments down below. Make sure to hit the like button. I forgot to ask you guys, help me out, get this video out to more people, save my ass from some losses on those calls. Also, spend $1, pop in the Discord. The link is under the video. Make sure to pop in the Discord. It is well worth it. Plus, if you did burn money, I'm going to sign up on someone else's phone and do this for myself. Mumu, once you sign up, make a deposit using my link. You're getting up to 16 free stocks plus a $100 cash coupon that, yes, you can withdraw, plus 1 free potential Tesla or Google stock, which is worth 55 AMC shares, essentially, if you were to sell that and buy those shares. Plus, you get free AMC stocks guaranteed if you are from Australia. So that is the bonus for June. Make sure to use my link, sign up for Mumu, make a deposit. Overall, guys, that is it. I love you all. Sorry this is going up late. I had some stuff to do, but that was fun to watch. Peace.